The city did not know that its paperwork would outlive it. Nearly 4,000 years ago, inside a palace in northern Mesopotamia, scribes pressed reeds into wet clay. They recorded copper, ingredients for beer, sealed containers, and official messages. Beyond the palace walls, rival kings were tightening their control over the region. Then came destruction. Rooms collapsed, fire-hardened fragments of the city's administration, and the people inside were left where they fell. The city's name disappeared from history, but its last ordinary records remained underground. Archaeologists have now recovered 20 tablets from those destruction layers. Some carry dates that appear to place them remarkably close to the city's fall. This is the story of a city that kept writing while its world was ending. Today the place is called Kurd Qaburstan. It lies on the Erbil Plain in the Kurdistan region of Iraq, about 22 kilometers southwest of Erbil. From the surface, much of it resembles a broad, weathered mound surrounded by cultivated land. Underneath is the plan of a major Bronze Age city. An 11-hectare-high mound rose above an 84-hectare lower town. Streets, houses, workshops, monumental buildings, and fortifications filled almost the entire area. Magnetometer surveys have traced more than 80 hectares without excavating every wall. The pattern is dense and deliberate. Researchers widely identify this place as ancient Qabra, the capital of a kingdom known from cuneiform texts. The match is powerful, although archaeology still treats the name as an identification to be tested rather than an unquestionable fact. A city is more than its walls. Excavations reveal the routines that made Qabra function. Streets were surfaced with pottery fragments and pebbles, improving traction and drainage. Ceramic pipes carried water through residential areas. Ovens, grinding stones, storage vessels, and large vats point to food preparation on an organized scale. Inside the palace, clay ceilings authenticated doors, containers, and documents, much like signatures or security tags. Administrative tablets counted commodities. Some list ingredients used to produce beer. Others record quantities of copper. These details sound small beside kings and battles, but they reveal the machinery of urban life. Laborers carrying grain, brewers measuring ingredients, officials checking deliveries, and scribes turning activity into records. Qabra was not an empty fortress, it was a planned, crowded city whose people depended on one another. Qabra lived in a world of competing city-states. Northern Mesopotamia was divided among ambitious rulers, fortified capitals, and shifting alliances. One of the most powerful was Shamshi-Adad I, who created a large kingdom across northern Mesopotamia. To the southeast ruled Dadusha of Eshnunna. Qabra stood between strategic river systems and controlled an important part of the Erbil Plain. Its independence therefore obstructed larger ambitions. Ancient inscriptions describe Shamshi-Adad and Dadusha joining forces against Qabra during the 18th century BCE. Exact absolute dates differ between chronological systems, but the campaign belongs close to the period around 1800 BCE. The target was not merely a wall or palace, it was a political center with land, labor, roots, and authority worth absorbing. The attack survives in the words of the winners. 2 monumental stone steles commemorate Qabra's defeat. One was raised for Shamshi-Adad, another celebrated Dadusha. They presented victory as royal power approved by the gods. Such monuments are evidence, but they are also propaganda. They tell us how conquerors wanted the event remembered. Archaeology supplies the other half of the story. Surveys have revealed heavy fortifications and regularly spaced towers. A documented stretch of wall runs for about 165 meters, with towers more than 8 meters wide. The scale closely resembles the fortified city shown on Dadusha's monument. We cannot reconstruct every assault, weapon, or decision. What the ground preserves is pressure, burning, collapse, and a city whose defenses were eventually overcome. The most intimate evidence came from the palace floor. More than 100 clay sealings and 20 cuneiform tablets were found in the Lower Town East Palace. 3 tablets share a date that aligns with a year known from Assyrian records and is consistent with the historical siege. They do not provide a dramatic diary of the attack. Their power comes from being ordinary. The administration was still counting, sealing and communicating near the time of destruction. One recovered letter was written by a man named Mutu Kumri. That rare name appears in another letter from the archives of Mari, where a man of the same name is identified as a senior official of Qabra. If they are the same person, archaeologists may have found a letter written by a named official inside the building he administered. It is a remarkable possibility, although it remains an identification rather than certainty. The palace did not suffer one clean ending. Excavators found evidence for 2 successive destructive episodes, separated in time but similar in character. Ash, fallen architecture, dense artifact deposits, and people who received no normal burial. 17 skeletons were recovered across 3 excavation areas. In the administrative sector, 8 adults, probably men, lay together inside a small room. In a storage and food processing area, the dead included men, women and children whose bones recorded years of physical labor. These remains deserve restraint. They were workers, officials and families, not visual decoration for a battle story. Their positions indicate sudden catastrophe rather than an organized evacuation. Afterward, Qabra may have briefly regained political independence, but the great city never recovered its former scale. Occupation contracted, and for a long period much of the lower town stood empty. For nearly 4,000 years, mud brick returned to earth. The city survived as a mound, fragments of pottery, and a name scattered across royal boasts and distant archives. Modern archaeology is reconnecting those pieces. Magnetometry maps, streets and walls beneath the soil, radiocarbon dating places, destruction within the turbulent 18th century BCE. Tablets link administration to named people and historical years. Human remains expose the cost hidden behind victory monuments. The identification of Kurd Qaburstan as Qabra may become stronger as more texts are deciphered, or future evidence may force revisions. That uncertainty is part of honest history. What is already clear is more compelling than a legend. While kings prepared their monuments, ordinary people kept the city running. Their final lists, seals and letters were never intended for us. They became the voices that survived,